Hi there. Welcome to the Be the Bank broadcast. I am Justin Bogard, your host, brought to you by American Note Buyers. Today, we got everyone on the call today. It's pretty cool. I wasn't sure who was going to show up today. So you're going to have Chris Seveney, Jamie Bateman, Jay Benoit, Jay Redding, Dan Deppen, and myself. Going to have a lot to talk about today, so stay tuned. Hello, large group of friends. How are we doing?
Gentlemen, fantastic.
Lovely.
Yeah, in case you're wondering if you were tuned in last month, we were on the call. Well, some of us were on the call. It just didn't get recorded. So
or streamed at all.
Sorry for the blank stream last month.
Best episode ever.
It was a teaser episode.
And we're not saying who was in charge of that at all, are we?
Everyone was on court.
JB.
Yeah. One of the JBs, right?
That's three of us.
One of the JBs.
I was gonna say, yeah. First initial is a J. Well, we know it's not Dan or I. So.
Yeah. Limited two possibilities.
I mean, we didn't make any mistakes last. We didn't say anything wrong the entire time.
The gold medal in streaming was last month for the performance.
Yep.
Wow. I don't even know where to begin today. Man, let's see. It's middle of summer, so I assume everyone that has kids is probably figuring out, like, what can they do? Where can they go? Leave me alone is what my mantra has been this summer. It's like, go away. Just do something else for a while so I can get some.
My 14-year-old a job. He's working.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Where's he working at?
Is the summer sports camp he used to go to. So he's a camp counselor now, and he's working 40 hours a week. So
wow,
yeah.
That's impressive.
Yep,
that's more than Jay Redding works.
Hey!
A year.
hey! Just because I took 10 days vacation, don't rag on me too hard.
10 days? You took 10 days?
But he's not. There's Elon, there's Jay, and then there's everybody else. Because Jay may only work 20 hours a year, but that passive income he's built is, he's the people you hear about on the TikToks and the Reddits about, they make too much money from their real estate.
Too much time, too much money in your hands to go out and have fun. So where did you go, Jay?
Which Jay are you talking to? Me?
Jay Redding.
Okay. Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We spent some time up there, went up through Sault Ste. Marie, actually took a look at a property that we're foreclosing on, since that was on the way up there as well. So
right off.
That's a write-off, at least to that property and back it was. So, and then went over to Iron River, Michigan. A buddy of mine that I ran with in college and everything, they've got an Airbnb up there, and we spent about 6-7 days with them up there and helped him do some work and had some fun and fishing and just awesome. Chilling out. So it was a good time. Just got back about an hour or so ago.
Oh, wow.
Fresh off of the long drive. Well, it's not too long of a drive, I guess, where you're at, right?
Well, it's we did not go from the UP all the way back home. We went over to Green Bay, saw Lambeau Field, and then we did that yesterday, and then drove down to Milwaukee. So we went from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to my home in Fort Wayne. So,
did you get a cheese hat when you
did not get a cheese hat? I am not. I mean, we were that close to the football stadium. It was worth going and seeing. I had a tour of the place, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm not a rabid Bengay, a Green Bay fan, so it's okay. I like the Packers, are okay, but I'm not a diehard fan, unfortunately.
Did you get some cheese curds at least?
Yes, we did do that.
They're good.
Yes, they are good.
Nice. I know, Jamie, you went on vacation recently, didn't you?
Yeah, it was 2 different trips, fairly local.
Oh, local.
Yeah, not 10 days. Well, 10 days total, but fairly local, a couple different lake trips. So that was nice.
That's cool.
Did some whitewater rafting, the upper Yakagani, some jet skis. Yeah. Good.
Jet skis are
time.
always fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
The rafting is pretty legit too. It's like level 4 and 5 rapids.
Ooh, that's
So-
exciting.
What's the highest level it goes?
I think 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
pretty intense.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah.
5 is definitely intense. Been
Yep.
only done 4s. Never have done a 5.
Didn't
I did
lose
it once
anybody on the
before.
raft, did you?
did lose anybody?
Yeah.
No, I mean, there was one raft that flipped over and there were some other people who got jettisoned out, not from our raft, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy to go overboard and it can be a little touch and go. I mean, it's no joke. I mean, it's
Very true.
so I did it once before and I underestimated it at that time, but this time I kind of knew what I was getting myself into. So it's fun. It makes you feel alive, you know?
Yeah. So that's just local to you, like a couple hours drive?
Yeah, like 3 hours. That was out on near Deep Creek Lake in Western Maryland.
Okay.
So
Very cool. I went on a little cruise at the beginning of June. So we visited Jamaica and Bahamas and another private island that Royal Caribbean owns. So that was our big trip for the year. So the kids like that.
nice.
Awesome.
Anyone else do a vacation recently? Nope. Oh, Dan's saving up for the wedding.
Yeah, I got a wedding coming up. Actually, this will be my last podcast, single, most likely.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you for
I thought you were going to say
clarifying.
Yeah.
your last
Thank you for
wedding.
clarifying.
Yeah.
Nice
we
knowing
had a pause in there for a
Yeah,
second. I was like,
exactly.
where is this going?
Well, I was trying to think through the timing of the thing, but yeah, we'll be going out to Carmel later, but not till September. So, but nothing this summer.
Right on. Cool. Well, let's kind of dive into the note business, or I guess the real estate business. And I know we haven't seen Chris on for a while because he's been enamored with all the operations going on with his team. So Chris was telling us a little bit before we hopped on the call about some recent stuff going on with him. Chris, do you want to pick up where you left off on that conversation?
Yeah, I was just saying, like, every quarter we do like quarterly update, and I think the final numbers were we had almost like 15 million in acquisitions just this past quarter. So we've been very, very busy during that time frame. A mix actually, performing, non-performing, mostly non-performing, and definitely a lot of seller activity of people wanting to get stuff off their books that's in a non-performing state that we bought one pool at 16 cents on the dollar.
Oh, wow.
Of UPB, but I'd say property value still at like LTV of like 40 to 50%.
Feels good.
We had one that was having some paperwork issues and basically went to them and said, hey, we'll resolve it, but take 5-figure discount. And they're like, sure. And I was like, okay, just like clean up some paperwork and stuff. And so these are more, I'd say, some of the larger, bigger funds that are just like done with some of this paper. They just want it gone. And it's like, okay. So yeah, it's been, oh man, so many crazy stories that I can take a stick at in regards to some of the assets that we have. So it's been interesting, but definitely a lot of activity and action out there. So
It looks like you've been hiring a few people since we last talked with you.
we've hired another asset manager. So we've got 3 people now on kind of our asset management team.
Yeah.
Outside of myself, and we've hired another accountant. So we've got 3 people now in our accounting department. We're up to like 10 or 12, total, in the company right now. So, still got our Reg A offering that we launched 4 months ago. So, and the new one, so raising capital through that aspect. So yeah, it's been just busy.
To say the least, right?
So
Anybody else have anything recent that's come up that's a good topic of conversation for today?
Well, I sold my REO in Oakland, so that closed.
Oh yeah.
That was nice. Squatter made an appearance at the last minute again, and it was like on again, off again.
I got to talk to you
few
about that
times.
one because that's the one I was going to buy, right?
Yeah, that's the one. We can talk about it afterwards. I'll tell you how. Yeah.
So you're probably glad I let you have it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. That was. Yeah.
Dan, why don't you give a
Yeah.
real quick backstory on it, just to get the viewer.
Just pretend,
so
pretend we didn't stream anything last month. And
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
So basically, it was a seller finance loan that a broker brought to us in Oakland, California, and it was in a particularly rough part of Oakland. A while back, I was at happy hour. Some couple friends who were kind of from that part of California and know Oakland, and when I told them like where it was, they were like, "Ooh." So anyway, so there was a squatter. The seller wanted nothing to do with it. The borrowers had left like about a year ago. Like one was like in China, one was on the East Coast somewhere. But long story short, we were able to acquire the note, and then borrowers signed a deed in lieu, and then we got it listed and sold off. But there were I'm skipping a lot of drama in the midst of. Maybe another time I can do like a whole case study.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun to see that. Was this wasn't a single family house, right? It was
there was a house that had like a
garage
workshop
thing in it. Yeah.
Had like a workshop attached, so it was kind of like a hybrid.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Jamie, Benoit, or Redding, you guys have anything interesting pop up?
We got a number of different things that's going on. One of our foreclosures that's up in Michigan right now, the redemption period is finishing up on the 15th, and got a text this morning from the borrower that says, "I just want to be done with this." She was wanting to try to see if she could work with us, a split with her boyfriend, or whether she could try to do it on her own, and she just says, "I just want to be done with it." So that looks like that's going to be pretty clean cut. All right, and we gave her a date to be out, and she said that's fine. So we'll see. All right, whether that. So there's some equity in there, so we should be able to move that and be able to be made whole and be good in that respect. We've got another one down in Texas that's about a $300,000 home. We have about $100,000 into it, so we've got plenty of equity to protect us there. The sale date is August 4th. We've heard from the borrower. They're asking if they supposedly have a closing date around July 10th. If they can't get it closed, they're wanting to know if we would extend. And we basically said, no, you've been dealing with this for a year. We are not extending. So either get it closed or reinstate, which you've got to bring about $25,000 to the table to reinstate, or the property's gone. So that's kind of how we're playing there. We're reviewing all the documents on our PPM and subscription agreements on our fund, our 506B. So we'll see. We'll have a discussion with an attorney next week on some questions that we have. But hopefully we'll have things ready before the end of July to be ready to start operating with that. So, yeah, even though I was on vacation, there was still a lot going on.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah. Oh, and we did purchase nothing like what Chris did, but we did buy 11 notes over the last quarter. So
that's still pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a good amount.
I'll share an interesting one that because I've got plenty that I could share. But so we've got one, and I'll just that we had a borrower who had a property trying to sell it, couldn't sell it. We foreclosed on it. Took it back. There was a personal guarantee on it that basically we, filed, against that as well. And then we get in there and the property needed, call it like $50,000+ worth of work. Get in there. This is $500,000 plus property. Get in there, get the work done, get it listed, get it sold. And basically, you know, the work we did, we got that back because we added like some additional value to it and everything. So what's interesting on this one is, so I'm just going to use rough numbers. Say the guy owed us 600 and foreclosure was 400. So, you know, he'd owe us $200,000 deficiency. You know, so what they're trying to say now is, well, you sold the property for more than the foreclosure sale price, so that should come off of what I owe you. Ignoring the fact that like we had to go like finish it, pay realtor fees and stuff like, well, you sold the property and you're pretty much, you know, cut yourself almost whole and whatnot. So yeah, their main argument right now is you know, I sold it for more than what I bought it for foreclosure, so they shouldn't owe me any more money.
So they want a little benefit from the rehab work that you did. That seems fair.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Not quite how that works, I don't believe.
Well, and according to them, the house was in perfect condition, didn't need any rehab work. So
Yeah,
Of course.
it's always in perfect condition for them.
yeah. So yeah. So that was one. You know, took some back where people also had were in there as renters, but they were getting scammed. It was like, you know, somebody else said they owned it, so they were sending money to somebody else that had nothing to do with the property.
Oh, man,
So,
when that happened.
Two of
That's always
those.
terrible.
You know, one of them was like a $4,000 deposit on like $1,500 a month in rent, and it's like, yeah, you're never gonna see that money back. Sorry. So
I've had that too. Yeah, that guy was sending somebody else money for about a year. He wouldn't believe me that
That you owned it?
Yeah, and that we weren't getting the payments. I'm like, well, sorry. So
yeah, we have an interesting one also in Ohio that the property, so it was bought as this large pool. We didn't pay a lot for this one, but we were basically like, we want nothing to do with this property because it had taxes and the city was already like putting violations on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we basically went and just got a judgment against the borrower because they have 3 other properties. But what's interesting is, and it's in Columbus, this property, which has been a decent market. So the city stepped in and took over receivership of the property. And they listed the property for sale and essentially got it under agreement and sale pending. And, you know, speaking with our attorneys, like, yeah, they're going to take their cut of, you know, and what's owed and like the fees and stuff like that, which is like, you know, $10,000, but everything else, if you're a first lien holder, is going to come back to you and stuff. And I was like, oh, damn, that's like great. Because I didn't have to pay for foreclosure costs, which would have, you know, been $10,000 in Ohio, and all this other stuff. It's like they stepped in. First time I've like been happy that the city's done something right. They stepped in, took it over, and it's like, hey, we're going to sell this thing, and you know, got it listed in, you know, pending and stuff. And I was like, damn, okay, you know, so we'll get. I expected like this one to basically almost be like a write-off and probably, you know, lose a few bucks on this. And now it looks like, hey, might be made whole and even make a few bucks on it. So
nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've got several kind of similar to Jay Redding, several foreclosures in the pipeline. I've got one tomorrow. The auction is tomorrow. I mean, either way, we should win, whether I get a payoff or end up with the property, because the property is valued significantly more than what we have into it. Have one where the borrower had was in bankruptcy and then he passed away, and we had to file a motion for relief to move forward with foreclosure. Surviving spouse moved out briefly, but then moved back in, and I think they're trying to, you know, get cash for keys. So trying to be patient on that one. Although he passed away in September, October. So here we are, it's July, and you know, she's going to have to find some other living arrangements, but just several others. I have another one where the borrower he was paying all along and they just went dark in February. I looked on LinkedIn and it looks like he's open to work, but won't respond to the servicer. And so we're moving forward with foreclosure on that one. I've got a couple of Texas reverse mortgages that are vacant properties that have dragged on and on, but those are making some slow progress. So I've got probably 7 or 8 that are kind of in the pipeline that look promising. But a lot of these, it's like a lot of costs up front, as you guys know, in legal expenses, and then maybe paying back taxes to avoid tax sale, et cetera. So yeah, I've just been kind of patient, and we're just kind of, working through all these defaults. Most of these we purchased as defaulted loans, so it's not a surprise. It's just, you do need to be patient in this business. Chris and I were chatting earlier today about just attorneys in general. It just feels like, I know it's summertime, but it's just like, I don't know. I can't get people to respond to emails and things, and it's just time is money in this business. So
I mean, I probably got 4 or 5 in various stages of foreclosure, and we've been doing just boatloads of follow-ups with legal, or more precisely, Karen has. But and we're getting things done, but it's like staying on top of them.
You got to stay on top of them.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
And we do. And one of the problems too is some of these are billed hourly depending on the situation. So it's like, all of a sudden I'm racking up these legal fees largely because the attorneys are slow.
Not responsive.
And they've got to dust off their file. What is this about? It's like, well, I'm paying for that. So, but yeah, we're pretty on top of it. It just feels like it's been dragging on and on. But the next 2 quarters do project to be good for our fund, with some of these exits coming along. And then I had 3. We haven't received any of these payoffs yet, but last week 3 just random payoff requests from borrowers. Don't really know why. So maybe we'll get a surprise payoff or 2. That would be nice.
I got a payoff request on a loan that I closed last week. So that'll be nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's your return on that one, Dan?
Oh,
Enough.
That'll be pretty good. Yeah.
I had one
like
that
I
we
sold.
bought once. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I bought one that was sale pending.
Sold a
Go ahead.
note. Sorry, I'll be quick. I sold a note, and then the guy who bought it from me got paid off 2 weeks later. I was like, that would have been nice.
Yeah, the fastest one I've had is a month. We got one payment and then they paid off.
Wow.
2 days. Bought one from somebody that was sale pending. We closed. 2 days later, they closed on the property. We got our money, and actually, the money went to them that they had to send back to us. So I'm like, I probably went online and looked what was going on.
Something tells me you knew that was about to happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it was on Zillow and everything. It said sale pending. We called the agent and said when they closing. We're like, okay, let's get our closing done.
Let's get ours done first. That's right.
I had
That
one
takes
once.
me
It wasn't quite that fast, but it was on the tape and it listed for sale on Zillow. So I hurried up and bought it. And yeah, it was like a couple weeks later we got paid off on that.
Smart thinking.
We have one. This one's I haven't figured it out yet, but because I like to scour the internet and kind of search a lot of things. Got one borrower who's like, this guy's on his 6th freaking bankruptcy. This guy is got it down to a T. And basically somehow we get a motion for relief, and then somehow he figures out a way to be able to file, or he must in the pockets, or finally go to the the first hearing or whatever, and the trustee or his attorney shows up and is like, yeah, you might as well dismiss the case because he's been arrested under a different name. He's going to be in prison for a while. And I'm just like, damn. So I'm trying to figure out find if I can figure out what he got arrested for or whatnot. But this guy was borrowing money from using fake IDs and names to borrow money for people and stuff like that. And then them finding out who it really is. And you read these bankruptcy cases, it's borrow money from excuse the phrase, the little old man or lady. And basically they didn't know or whatnot, because he used a different name or whatever. And it's guy bought a brand new Mercedes while I was in bankruptcy, cash. And it's yeah, so
There's a problem here.
but of course they still let him keep filing, so
Yeah. Yeah.
so that
I
was an interesting one.
I had wrote a post about this on LinkedIn. I don't know, it was a week or 2 ago. I hadn't run into this before, and it's the first state that I've seen that had done this. And there's something called a churning rule in Minnesota, and I was looking at a contract for deed. And I was doing some research about, compliance of contract for deeds in that state, and I ran across this rule that just happened to be enforced, I think, like August of 2024. And it basically, they're trying to prevent real estate investors from buying properties, selling on contract, and then foreclosing on them, or trying to, forfeit the contract with borrowers and then keep doing it.
Mhm.
And so there's some sort of document that they have to disclose to the buyer that they're selling to on contract that tells, like, I bought this property on this date and I paid this much for it, and like there's a whole process to it. So when I was investigating this, I asked the seller, can you show me all this documentation that, makes you compliant with rule whatever was 559A. And of course, they can't produce documentation, but the penalty is if the borrower gets, it wants to make it a big deal, is that whoever holds the paper currently would have to forgive all the debt.
Oh my gosh.
Something like that extreme. So even if I bought it and didn't realize it, he would be off the hook if I bought it from him, the note seller, and I'd be liable to forgive the debt.
Well, I know in Maryland, if you don't record the CFD, that any point, like Jamie could have a CFD with me, and let's say I've been paying for 10 years, and place gone down in value or whatnot and so forth. Jamie and record it. I could go to Jamie and say, hey, by the way, I'm moving out, but guess what? You owe me back every single penny I've ever paid you because you've never recorded that CFD. And he'd be obligated to give me all my money back.
Wow.
No deduction for what rent would be, every single penny.
I'm amazed buyers never take advantage of those rules. Like, I'm surprised no one just goes in Minnesota and says, hey, I want to buy everything I can on owner finance. Why don't you do a contract for deed? It'll just be, easier. You can just foreclose me out quick. It'll be easier for you,
Yeah, with AI out there, you think they just type in,
Well,
how can I win?
What's going to be interesting with CFDs now is, the new, actually it didn't get signed, but if that new bill ever gets signed about the 350 properties, how CFDs play into that?
What rule is that?
The House and Senate passed that Save America Act or whatever it was called, where you can't own more than 350 properties.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So, but so CFDs, I don't know how those would play into that, but you technically own it. So
I say you technically
They're
own
on the
it.
title. This is just another reason why, seasoned note investors, obviously when they originate paper, they're not going to originate a CFD unless there's like a very, very acute reason to do that.
Yep.
Which would be very, very, not likely it's going to happen.
Yeah, only in a specific situation.
Yeah.
Eventually the states are just going to get caught up to it anyways and just tell people you got to go foreclose. And it's that point in time, it's like Florida. CFD is worse because you still have to foreclose on it, and you still have to deal with possibly all the liens and taxes and every violations and everything on there as well. So like, why, if you got to foreclose anyways, like why bother?
Yeah, that's
don't
how
want to be on the
Oklahoma
deed.
is. Like if they default on a land contract, you have to do a judicial foreclosure. So
What state was that, Dan? Sorry, I missed it.
Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma. Yeah.
No, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, you have to record your contract as well, or there's a penalty every day.
You have to record it. Well, you have to have it recorded to foreclose. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. I had multiple attorneys telling me the land contract doesn't have to be recorded, but yeah, like Chris said, if you want to foreclose, you have to record it first, and then
There's something there's something there that I've ran into before where something has to be recorded, and if it's not, it's a penalty. Within
Iowa has something like that. I think
it's Iowa. Then I got the states confused probably.
Some states it depends how much the buyer, the property buyer, the borrower, has paid.
Indiana,
down.
Ohio,
Right.
kind of all have
If there's
times
enough,
or how
if
much
they have a lot of
down.
equity, then you have to foreclose.
yeah, Ohio definitely like that.
Yeah, Indiana is as well. The state
Indiana.
statute, it's at 20%, but if you get a liberal judge, it could be way less than that.
Yep. Georgia doesn't make sense because you can foreclose in by the time you can go microwave a pizza. So.
Yeah.
Is that a deed of trust state or a mortgage state?
Well,
Deed of trust.
Mortgage.
it's technically a security deed.
Yeah,
But-
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But there are a few different security instruments, but the most common is a security deed, but really it's deed of trust.
Deed of trust, okay.
More similar to a deed of trust than a mortgage. Yeah.
I was looking at buying a land contract in, I think it was Michigan, somewhere in Michigan, and it was someone I had sold some notes to in the past, and they were just wanting to divest themselves of this. The borrower was pretty savvy on like not making a payment until like the 90th day, like every time, but they were getting caught up, so they were avoiding, the foreclosure. This has gone on for years. They kept doing this. It's pretty low balance note, wasn't anything spectacular. So I'm looking into it. It's like a 3-acre parcel with supposed to have a structure on it, and I thought it was interesting enough to look at it. And then he tells me there's a I guess you call it a blight lien against the property, to where the city or the township came out and they got rid of the roofing shingles and the the metal that's in the yard and like high weeds or whatever, and it was like a $6,000 lien. So it shows up on the title report just as a lien against this guy's company because it's a contract for a deed. So when I was talking to the township about this, I go, why didn't this show up on the tax roll or whatnot? And they said they didn't get this in time to make it for the 25 tax roll. So this is going to be on the 26 tax roll. So when I was thinking about buying this kind of subperforming, on the verge of being delinquent note, not performing, I wanted to find out, is this a chargeable thing for the borrower? It is and it isn't. So it is in the sense, as soon as it becomes like an official like property tax type delinquent lien. So what you want to do in these situations is not pay that lien, even if you buy the note, until it gets on the tax roll, because then it becomes an assessment type lien, which in the agreement for deed, it spells out exactly like that's the type of lien you can make chargeable.
So usually a blight lien is because they're responsible to maintain the property. The ones I've seen allow you to quote maintain it, and then if that was charged at their issuance, but either way, if you wait, that's when what you do is then you advance it, because then he can't play the game of I'll pay every 90 days, because now it's like $6,000 plus that, and
it's a non-monetary default now.
Yep.
So there was just, I didn't end up buying it because there's just kind of unknown risk that I couldn't underwrite. I couldn't see the house from the street because there's too much foliage, and there's there's more rumors that I've heard.
Well overgrown. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I was talking to the county person that actually filed the lien. And this is where you get nice with people, right? Because you find out more information than you probably are led on to believe. You're like, oh, yeah, the gate's all messed up, too, the front gate. And so we're going to have to come out and do some repairs to it. So that's going to be more of a cost. I'm just thinking like, okay, this thing I don't have enough discount in here to be able to recover this, if I have to pay these things off. So,
Chris, you remember the mattress vomiting RV yard? That was a blight issue too.
Just one mattress?
No. Like 10 or 12, two different RVs.
You showed this house.
Yeah, I think I did a case study on. Yeah, but
was that a jumpy park?
What's that?
Was that a jumpy park?
I mean, this was somebody's backyard, so yeah, it was. I think it was the one where she had about 25 tires in the yard, and just the two different RVs and all these mattresses coming out of it, and I think one of the RVs was like half burned, but that was a blight. That was the first time I really learned about blight issues.
That was a meth lab gone bad.
It was something, I think. Yeah, it was. It actually, in all seriousness, Child Protective Service. This is where, there was a 6-month redemption period where I couldn't actually take the property back. To protect the borrower, right? That's what it's intended for. But the sad reality is Child Protective Services was called as soon as we got in there. And because it was just, it was really terrible, the conditions the kids had been living in. So had we been able to get in there 6 months prior, it's 6 months less time they would have had to be subject to those conditions. But I digress.
It's crazy how people live in some of these conditions when you take back some of these houses, or if you buy on like a non-performing note.
Yeah. I do think she got into drugs. I mean, that's obviously what was going on there. But.
We just took one back that is like oh my God, it's like, how could somebody even live in this place? It's so awful.
Does it have 900 cats in it?
I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you, like, yeah, it's just so disgusting and deplorable. It's like, oh, so.
I drove to one of our REOs. It was in the northern part of North Carolina, just because I wasn't understanding why we weren't getting any offers on it. So I had to go there for myself, and I realized I don't think my agent actually was, going through the property and actually understanding like what it is that we have here. So we definitely had to lower our offer to more of like an investor, fix and flip type price.
So I got a question, because based on what you just said, Justin, how are you guys finding REO agents if you need to? Zillow, or what do you guys use?
I'm using AI to help me find like the highest reputable ones, like a group of them within like a close proximity of where the house is at. And then I just kind of call them and ask them questions. Like I just kind of lightly interview them and just kind of gut feeling if it's the right one or not. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah. What I do is I just call an agent close to the property and ask if they specialize in REOs. Usually they don't. And then I ask them who around does. And then I start calling them, and usually I lock on to somebody good pretty quick.
So we do, but one of our new asset managers that we hired comes from that space, who worked for like dispositions for like, like American Destiny, or one of those that handles all the banks and stuff. So she has like a list of a Rolodex of agents and everything. And the challenge that we have, not with the agents, but like with some of the contacts, they're so used to doing the stuff for like the large banks. So like, oh, you want me to come change your carpet? That's $8,000. And I'm like, is it gold plated? Like, what am I doing with this carpet? So
each strand has silver woven into it
through everybody. But from the agent standpoint, it's been, but the key also is, I think kind of what like Dan and others mentioned is like, understand your asset too, whether it's a, $150,000 property that is REO only. Like we have some of them like that are updated and like good condition and stuff. And like, that, sometimes is not an REO, but like a regular agent. So
yeah, like a retail sale. Right?
Yeah, like we got one in Florida that's a retail sale, but of course went to foreclosure. Somebody bid at it $600,000, so and they had 5%, so they put $30,000 down, didn't close on the property. So it's like, oh, we'll take the 30 grand.
We'll take the 30 grand, yeah.
Yep. Wow. But the last 6 foreclosures I've had on Florida, one of them was on one property that went 5 times foreclosure, that people kept bidding, and then because they can bid online, and people are like, oh, I'll just bid and whatever, and like people just love giving away like $10,000-$20,000, and it's like, okay, and then just got to reset the sale. But it's actually frustrating that like some of these online sites now don't require like, in Virginia, for example, and like you got to have the money right then at the sale. Like money's due at that point in time. And I wish some of these auction sites would have the people, instead of a deposit, basically, put the whole thing, have 100% deposit.
Yeah.
Or a higher deposit amount.
I missed a couple of comments, Chris, when you were talking about something in Ohio. Somebody at Note Conference was asking if you use Setilli.
We do use Setilli. We've got, some of the ones we have, like if we take a property, buy a loan, and it's already with an attorney, a lot of times we just will leave it with that attorney, even if we don't know them, because it also be like, oh, it's a new attorney. Are they, I like to have 3 people in my Rolodex that I could go to anytime, because like I love using Setilli and they're very good at what they do. But if it's a unique case, that needs some like maybe litigation or something, they're good at the foreclosure, but their litigation side, I know some people who I believe might be a little bit stronger. So we, have people for different avenues there.
For different purposes, different.
Yeah, we've got
purposes.
We've got another one. Who's this one? Hold on, because I just saw his email come through. Who I really like this guy. It's really good. What's his name? He is with.
Chile covers a lot of states too. They're not just Ohio.
Oh, so we got one guy with McCullough, Raymer, Liebert, and Pierce, MRLP. This one guy who's been handling some stuff for us in Ohio that we bought. This guy's awesome. Like, we love this guy. So yeah, and I know MRLP, they're in Alabama, California, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Kentucky, Mississippi, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Texas, and Washington. So
it's a random set of states. That seems.
Yeah, it's really random. Like, if you're in Alabama, why aren't you in like Tennessee and Mississippi? Or no, they're in Mississippi. Yeah. Okay, but yeah.
So, Mr. Virgo Funding, what's going on in your neck of the woods? We haven't heard from you much tonight.
Man, you guys have been on a roll. I didn't want to interrupt anything.
Going so well. I just got the money coming in and just I originated
I'll just let y'all work and I'll just sit back, right? Oh, wow. Since I was on last, we've had a couple things change. We have closed a rather large bank line of credit, which has really helped our operations, and will continue to help our operations as we grow. We got a couple large loans that are going to be paying off this month. Two of them up in Idaho. That'll be a nice day to close those out, and then we'll reinvest those monies into some other loans, maybe in Idaho, maybe in Arizona. Continuing to work with our relationship that we have with our builder that we have there. And then we've got a whole bunch of loans that we're doing here in the state of Alabama. We will be opening up our business to the eastern side of Tennessee and Georgia pretty soon. So there's a lot of things changing in our space. It's a lot of good stuff. Growing. We're making some infrastructure changes, some software changes, some integration, trying to streamline a lot of things, make it easier for the team, make it an easier user experience. But we're still running about 17 million on the street, so not quite as much as Chris is doing. We're just doing that annually, but he's doing that quarterly. So things are good, no complaints at all on our part. We got one loan that is in foreclosure. Unfortunately, it's somebody that I've known the family for pretty close to 20 years, but this individual has, I think, gone a little off the tracks, so to speak. And there's no way to get him to realize that he's off the tracks, so we're having to push him into the foreclosure process. That'll be our first one that we've actually gone through the process with to get him. To get the property back and turn around and sell it. So we've done some we've done some deed in lieu before that were no big deal. This one's just taking a little bit longer. We'll probably have to wait about a 2-month period total to be done with that. So not too long compared to a lot of states, but it's still kind of painful when you want to go fast. And as you guys were talking about earlier, the attorneys are just snoozing and not paying attention, not responding. I mean, this is like an attorney friend of mine that I've hired, and I'm like, where are you? Like, do I need to take you to lunch to get
Hello? Hang on.
So
is this a fix and flip loan?
Yeah, it is.
How far along is it?
I mean, he's like 98% done.
Jeez.
His mom's a realtor. And she's like, I can't get him to do what he needs to do. I was like, can you just list it for him? I don't mind waiting for my payments. Can you list it and sell it? And she said, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm out.
His mom?
His mom's out? Okay. Ooh, that's not a good thing.
What I mean by when he went off the track was here, right? He's not okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Jay, I have a question for you. With your line of credit, is this a line of credit with the bank where you have your operating account and everything, or is this a totally separate bank that you're working with?
We have moved banks, so now we are there.
Okay.
So we've got a line of credit as well, so I can talk about it more, but go ahead, I'll let you finish.
Well, no, we've been negotiating a line of credit also, and they've slipped in. They've given us a full approval for what we've asked for and everything, and then at the very last second, they've slipped in. Oh, the board is requiring that you move all your accounts to them, and it's like, I've never done that.
It's a natural ask for the bank.
it's
I know
going to
it
be.
I know it
Yeah.
is, but my thought process on this, I'm not giving them the opportunity to raid my operating accounts if something goes bad. In all of our real estate that I've done, on all the loans that we've done, I've always done the loans with separate banks, and our operating accounts have been at separate banks than where we had our loans.
Well, there's no reason you can't have multiple bank accounts in multiple banks, but
They're going to want the operating account and they're going to have, well, the one we got, we have to
Mhm.
use kind of like as an operating account, and we have to have like a minimum balance in there. And yeah, they have language that they can come in. Not only can they raid my bank accounts, but they can raid basically. So for ours, we can collateralize any asset in our portfolio. So it can be a note. They'll do up to, or a loan. They'll do up to like 50% on a performing loan or on REO, and like 40% on a non-performing loan. But if I default on them, they can pick any asset within my portfolio that they can raid.
you're going to have to give up some control, Jay. If you
Yeah,
want.
you're going to have to. Now, I will say the rate is phenomenal.
Rate's fantastic.
Well,
Yeah,
I
and
can't
I'm
say that
probably-
the rate is phenomenal by any means
Okay,
here. It's
so-
pretty much standard
so
rate. So it's like
I
you're going to
mean-
have to do better.
Yeah. So, I mean, the line we have is a bank that does, and probably it's the same one Jay's probably using. There's a few of them out there that, will do a line of credit versus a warehouse line that they, will give you a very good rate, but they're going to want control. But we found so far, like everything with them has been very easy to deal with so far. So, because this is what they specialize in, is giving loans to.
What we've done is one of our holding companies, our real estate holding companies, everything that we have in there is free and clear. So we've pledged that, no personal guarantee. We've pledged that as collateral for the line of credit. That's what we've done. And now they're wanting us to not only do that one, but also one of our other note companies. They're wanting us to also pledge that, which we're okay on both of that. But I'm really struggling from the standpoint to give them to put our operating at the same place. And it's like I'm looking at what other options we have.
You're gonna have to talk
The ones
to
I have, personal guarantee, it's like,
yeah,
but yeah,
but
but
you
also
gotta
the
talk
way
to different banks, Jay, because they're not all the same.
Yeah.
Like
I know. Oh, I know.
I talked to like 50 or 100 banks, and I could not get through to most of them. Then we would get close on a lot of them, and then there's a bunch I didn't like. There's a bunch that didn't like me.
Like-
It's the dating game. You got to find the one you want.
So if
Yeah.
if you own real estate that is completely, clear, like you can go get a non-recourse loan from a portfolio lender at, basically 6.5%, no personal guarantee, no operating account, no nothing, and they'll just collateralize it, and they might go up to 60% because it's non-recourse, but still, good chunk of change, that you can get.
That's what I did with my rental portfolio. I leveraged it separately.
Yeah, and
from-
that's basically what we're doing here. I mean, we're asking for essentially $1 million line of credit is what we're doing, and the portfolio is worth about 1.6. It's in that 1.6, 1.7 in that holding company, but the challenge is that the rentals are not nearly cash flowing as well as, even with them being free and clear, they aren't cash flowing nearly as well as rentals have in the past. So they wanted, as a secondary guarantee the cash flow out of one of our out of one of our note companies, the cash flow out of that, which we were fine with. It's just it's a principle, I guess, from my standpoint of I've just never done it. Allowing them, it's a strategy that I have implemented from the get-go. Wherever we've gotten our loans is not the same bank that where we have our operating accounts at.
The reason they want the operating accounts, not only it's not because they want you to go in default and be able to rate it, it's because, of course, they want the money in the account, so then they have the business with you that they can go lend that money.
Exactly.
So
I get that. Yeah, I get it. But my job is to protect our capital and protect our company if everything would go bad.
Yep.
And it's like, we're going to have some type of, so that's kind of a sticking point right now. So I thought we had another $1 million line of credit, but now I don't know that we're going to necessarily have that. And we're looking at alternatives of what's other things that we can do. And we do have some other alternatives. So, I mean, they got plenty of, we've already got one line of credit with them. It's like, they got plenty of interest off of that line of credit last year. So it's like, do you want to just throw all this away, or do you still want to play ball and let us have what we want and we'll give you what you want? So we'll see. Part of the negotiation process.
Yeah, I find that it's very, very difficult to get the lines of credit under $10 million, and then it gets much easier as you get bigger.
Okay, well, we got to get there first.
Yeah, like Western Alliance, used to be like $10 million minimum. Now they're at like 25 plus, and it's and they want you to have at least that in assets, and many different other things.
Sure.
Axis Bank, use the same thing. They're all the same, the bigger ones that have so there's a few that do the smaller. So
this is a local community bank, so it's one we've had a relationship with, and they're not a big player. So
that's really who you need to play with, Jake.
I know.
Bigger banks that'll touch that.
Oh, I know. And even I've gone through like 7 or 8 local community banks, and this is the only one that initially worked with us, but it's now, I just don't like the fact that they slipped that in at the last second when that should have been discussed up front. And quite honestly, that irritates the crap out of me when they do that. And I know banks are notorious for doing that.
Yeah.
Have you used Star Bank up there?
We have a relationship with Star Bank.
Okay.
So that is one that we work with. So,
man, I saw somebody on, it was like Paper Stack or something, and my brain was hurting because they were trying to sell, like, I don't know if it was a partial or whatnot, but they're like, you'll get the first 18% and I'll get the last 6% because we're going to make 24% on this performing note. And I'm like, wow, that's a pretty nice return on a performing note.
No, on a performing note. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, curious how that's going to work,
Must be some risk involved there.
Yeah.
There's never any risk.
Type of yield.
24%, never.
Performing notes always perform. There's no risk.
Well, if your basis is different than the unpaid balance, then yeah, I can see you having that larger return.
And then I like the other one where somebody was doing it's $100,000 loan, but you're going to get $200,000 of payments at the end of the day. So I'll sell it to you for $170,000. So you
I know.
I've seen those before.
Yeah.
I mean,
what are you smoking, man?
That's a seminar math.
Are you going to guarantee that payment if they stop paying? Because that's the only way it's going to happen.
Well, it's that, and it's also, I could put it in a CD and basically get the same return based on your calculation probably.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So
Maybe worse.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, this was a fun conversation today, guys. Appreciate everyone being on today. And, I'll be on in August. I know Dan won't be on, and
I'll be on. I should be on.
Okay. Chris, Jamie,
Yeah,
and then
think
Benoit,
so.
maybe.
I don't know. I got to look.
He's a maybe. But, it was good chatting with you guys today. Anyone wants to leave a comment, we'll respond to it after the show ends. So thanks, guys. See you next month. I almost said next week.
Bye-bye.
Next month. Bye.
Yep.